the...
Five,
Well,
4, 3, 2.
Hi!
hey!
So, I'm Whitney Van Landingham, as most of you guys probably know, and this is my co-host for the day, Mr. Poopy Bretthole. You may have recognized him from that one episode. Whoops, sorry, the volume's on my phone. My bad. So this is NerdWire, and
Hey,
today...
guys.
Hi! And today we're going to be talking about The Incredibles 2. First on the schedule is that we're going to do a spoiler-free review, and then after that we will do a full review of the movie, spoilers included. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you want to dip out afterwards, feel free.
That's when to do it, yeah.
But also, stay, because we want to talk to you.
Let us ruin the movie.
Let us ruin the movie for
if
you.
you have seen Incredibles, when that time comes, when we're going to talk about the spoiler review, let us know what you feel about the movie in the discussion below, and we're going to answer some questions, and we're going to chat with some people, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, just talking about Incredibles and how incredible it was.
Yeah, very incredible. I'm just realizing now that I'm like blending into the background.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, do you want to switch spots?
No, it's the same. It's the same everywhere. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
I am 100% sure.
I feel so bad.
How's everyone doing? Okay. So, Whitney, do you want to talk about the torture that I put you through for this movie?
Yeah, so, no, first things first, I want to talk about what an incredible jerk Brett is, because he made me see this movie with him on Friday night, and he suckered me in by being like, oh, I'll pay for your movie ticket, and I was like, oh, I love free shit. So, I agreed, and it was the worst decision I ever made, because then he wouldn't let me talk about the movie because he wanted the first time we talked about the movie to be right now with you guys. Yeah. And
so this is our authentic conversation.
We have not discussed it at all. It's been so hard to not talk about it. It's not fair. All I wanted to do the second we got out of the movie was just talk about it, and you wouldn't let me, and you're an a-hole.
A little bit.
A real big one.
So, do you want to start us off with this spoiler review? How did you feel about the movie?
Spoiler-free review.
Spoiler-free review.
Not the spoiler review yet. Don't
How
leave.
did you feel about this movie? Should people see it? What's going on?
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Okay,
Yeah.
So I really liked it. I had so much fun watching this movie. But that being said, the film major inside of me that's like a huge snob because I graduated Baylor University with a 3.96 GPA, like that snob part of me knows that it was kind of a poorly written movie. It wasn't the strongest movie. Yeah. Like just the plot and the everything wasn't as strong as the first Incredibles. That's how I feel about it. But that being said, it was such a fun movie, and I loved it so much, and I want to go see it again.
I actually feel the opposite.
Really?
I
you
think
didn't have fun in it, but
No.
you thought the writing was great.
Yeah, I thought the writing was great, and I didn't.
It was fabulous, but I had no fun in that movie.
I had no fun. No, I thought it was better than the first Incredibles, actually. It mirrored the first Incredibles in a lot of ways, and I think that's where people are sort of saying it's sort of like rehashing the original Incredibles.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the same thing as like if you liked Force Awakens, I think you'd really like Incredibles 2 because it kind of does the same thing that Force Awakens does with A New Hope, and it sort of riffs off the same tracks and it just swaps characters' roles, and I had a lot of fun with that.
Wait, how is The Incredibles 2 anything like The Force Awakens?
In the fact that it sort of mimics structurally A New Hope or Incredibles 1. Does that make sense?
Sort of, yeah. But...
So it's like a mirror of the first Incredibles movie.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying.
So if you enjoy like stories or just sort of like the same but different, I think you'll have a lot of fun with Incredibles 2. And I had a lot of fun with Incredibles 2, and I did enjoy it more than the first Incredibles. Although the last time I saw the first Incredibles was probably like 8 years ago. So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I watched it 8 times last week. I literally watched that movie 8 times in a row, so I was primed and ready to go for Incredibles 2. Okay, so somebody just asked us, Trey Johnson just gave us $2. Thank you so much, Trey. And he wants to know what our favorite characters are, so let's answer him real quick.
So
Who's your favorite
in this
character?
movie, I think my favorite character was... I really enjoyed the villain. We'll talk more about the villain once we get to the spoiler review.
Screenslaver.
Screenslaver. A lot of people did not like Screenslaver, and that's most people's point of contention with this movie, as they felt like Screenslaver was a little predictable. But I actually really enjoyed Screenslaver, and I can't wait to talk about that in the spoiler review.
Yeah, so stick around for that.
Jack was also great.
Yeah, Jack was great. Stop it, you stole what I was going to talk about.
Okay, talk about Jack.
No, it wasn't even Jack. I was going to say that my favorite character is the raccoon, and you're going to have to wait to find out why. Because this is the no spoiler review, but the raccoon in that movie was absolutely my favorite villain of the film.
Yeah. How did you feel? Because this is something that they've put in the trailers, so we can talk about this here in the spoiler-free zone. How did you feel about Mrs. Incredible taking a role larger than Mr. Incredible?
Oh, I loved that.
And like that role reversal.
Yeah. No, 100%. So like obviously in the trailer you see that she's, starting a new job or whatever, and that, she's going to be the main point of focus in the movie, and she was. And I thought that was really smart, because the last movie was all about Mr. Incredible, and he was the main point of focus, and obviously Elastigirl was a supporting role, like she was still a supporting major role in the film, but it was really Mr. Incredible's movie. And he was the one who had all of, the character development and the changes and, blah, blah, blah. So it was really nice that they chose to go with another character, because I think that it would have been kind of boring if we had just had another Mr. Incredible movie. So I hope that if they make a third one, they kind of, continue on in this pattern, because that means Frozone's next, dude, and I want a Frozone movie so bad.
Frozone, for Frozone fans who haven't seen the movie, he is in this movie a lot more.
Yeah, he is.
I'm really happy that they did that, because it felt like in the first movie he was kind of a token character.
Yeah.
And he actually feels like he's their friend, and he cares about. He's part of the family.
Totally.
Extended.
Yeah, he's the cool godfather who can shoot ice out of his face.
Yeah. And he's got a really cool scene, which I'll talk about in a moment.
Oh yeah. But no, I love that Frozone was in it so much more, because that character was so cool in the first movie, and
nice
I feel
pun.
I didn't ice pun.
Ice pun.
No, I love his character so much, and I love that we got to see more of him, and I can't wait for a third one, because I hope that they focus on him. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. In this movie, it felt more like Frozone was on the same level as Mr. and Mrs. Incredible.
Yeah, they were the same. They're both very important heroes.
Right.
There was one character in Frozone cosplay at some point, I think.
Yeah.
So
which was cool.
He's a culturally significant character within the world of the Incredibles.
Because in the first one, it felt like he was one of the next tier down from Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible. They were the Iron Man and the Cap, and he was
Hawkeye,
that's how I felt.
Cold Hawkeye.
Yeah. That's how I felt in the first movie, so I'm glad that he got more screen time.
Is there any other non-spoiler stuff you want to talk about now?
Oh yeah, well, all of this stuff.
All of this is non-spoiler?
No, wait. Trailer gives away. Oh yeah, that was a thing. If this is something that we can tell you that's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but basically, you guys already know most of the B plot just based on what the trailer's because a lot of the trailer.
And the B plot is.
And the B plot is mostly Violet going through some teenage angst.
Adolescence.
Yeah.
She's going through adolescence.
She's in her Kurt Cobain phase. Mm-hmm. And then Dash having trouble with math homework. So those are kind of, it really spells it out for you in the trailer. So expect that.
Yeah, I mean,
expect a lot of that.
I don't think that was that big a. I mean, it played more into Bob's plot. And the kids kind of take a back seat in this movie until the third act.
It's kind of like the last one in that regard.
Yeah. So let's transition over to our spoiler review, and let's really dig into this movie.
Yeah, okay,
and,
so spoilers.
Discuss everything that we love.
If you haven't seen The Incredibles, either go away or hang out just to hang out with us.
Oh, someone didn't like Incredibles too. Okay.
What?
So let's give them 10 more seconds to...
We are going to start reading the chats more, just FYI. We just had to do the non-spoiler review first, and now we can answer your questions and give better answers. So, did you like The Incredibles intro of the Disney castle? Says David. Yes, that was the coolest thing ever.
I don't even remember that.
Oh my god, the intro, they do the Disney, like the Disney
castle.
And
it's like...
And then they make it like a cool Incredibles.
It's like yellow and black.
Yeah,
and
and they
silhouette.
make it... It's so dope. I loved that animation so much.
I still forget what it looks like, but it was pretty cool. Did you like the opening short? Because Pixar always has great opening shorts.
So the opening short truly terrified me at one point. If you guys saw the short, it's the mom and she makes a little dumpling and then her little dumpling baby comes to life and then she's hanging out with this dumpling, and Pixar anthropomorphizes objects and creatures all the time.
They do.
So yeah. I was just like, oh cool, she has a little dumpling friend. That's awesome. And then I was kind of like, where did her husband go? Mm-hmm. And like that thought was like lingering in my mind. And then she eats the dumpling
Yeah,
kid.
she murders
her son, her dumpling baby. And I, honest to God, was like, this is the worst. This is cannibalism. She raised that thing and then she just ate it, and I was horrified. I thought it was real.
That's the thing, is like, because Pixar, everything's anthropomorphized.
I know.
So like, you thought that was that wasn't like a metaphor.
No, I thought that it was like a real doe
creature.
child. Yeah. And so I thought that she just ate it, and then like, I'm also still kind of confused about like what the metaphor was in real life. Like, what did she really do to her son?
She was overprotective.
She just take a bite of him? Like,
in
IRL? Like,
she IRL bit him. That's what the metaphor was.
If Pugsley ever tried to leave me, I'd bite him. But that was like her pug. That'd be like if I just ate Pugsley one day. That's so horrible.
But she learned to let go, and they
but
reconciled, and
that's
it was
because
wonderful.
he ended up being a human person.
Yeah.
It was so scary.
I thought
he was going to just be dead.
First of all, I love how they like took care in animating the little dumpling boy, because like his head would like deflate and stuff like that, and I thought that was so cute. And then like when he just sprouted like a goatee.
I know, it was like very adorable. So I really loved that. Mega Soul Hero wants to know what we thought of the music. Dude, the score was incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to do that.
It was, I mean, it's like a standard sort of heroic soundtrack. I
really dug it though. Like, I would listen to that for like pump up music in the morning.
When you're like working on an essay or something.
Yeah, like
that's
I'd be
that's what I listen to that stuff for.
It, like kicking some ass. And then LR Diaz wants to know, what is our favorite Jack Jack power?
Favorite Jack Jack power? I think multiplying.
Dude,
when
that
Jack
one is just so cute.
When Jack Jack multiplies, it's super cute, and it's also just like how
a parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah, they don't really address it at all. There's like, oh man, all these cute little babies.
Little babies just happened to me. I really like that though. I laughed every time he multiplied. That is a good power. But obviously, I like his interdimensional teleportation power. He's basically Rick and Morty. He has a portal gun. Only, guess what? It him.
They can teleport.
He is a portal gun.
I say they because Jack Jack is a multi-faceted creature now. He can multiply. Oh man, he's like a mega level mutant to the extreme. It's crazy, and that's one of the things that I did love while we're talking about Jack Jack. What I loved about Jack Jack is you started to see a personality develop in him.
Oh yeah,
and like he's
cool.
He's totally Bob's son, and he just wants to be this like righteous hero.
I know,
and like you can.
It's so cute.
The whole like Bob's whole argument throughout the movie is, what if our kids want to be heroes? We need to make the world safe so that they can do that, so they can do the right thing if they want to do the right thing. And Mrs. Incredible is sort of just like, yeah, Violet's not really interested in that. Dash isn't really interested in that. But then you sort of see that in Jack Jack, and I thought that was like really like a little nuanced. And I just love that, like, no, they do need to pave a new world for themselves.
Especially for that baby, because that kid is going to grow up to be like Professor X.
Yeah, he's Legion.
Like, he's literally, oh my god, he is Legion.
He's Legion.
Oh, dang, I was just going with X-Men, and you really...
Legion is an X-Men.
I know he's an X-Men. He's Professor X. I don't want to spoil Legion for you if you haven't seen the show yet or read the comics yet, but, like, I know, I'm just saying, you went there. You went to, like, the only good X-Men thing to come out of the last 5 years. Sorry, pretend I didn't say that. Right. This is Incredibles conversation.
So we're a little off the tracks, like the train in the first scene. So let's talk about the first scene and the development of the story. So the movie's bookended by, I believe his name is Tony.
Yeah.
Violet's love interest.
Yeah, from the first movie.
And it picks up right where the first movie ended.
Which is so cool. I love that they did that.
So the Underminer comes up from the ground, and then they just go into hero mode, and they start taking him down, and they end up failing.
Yeah. And not only do they end up failing, but they are accidentally seen by Tony Reidinger.
Yeah.
And they, like, have to, like, basically go in and erase his memory. They have to have Dickerson erase his memory, and then that causes all of Violet's B-plot problems. That just sets things in motion.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, so Bob tells Dickerson, is that what you said his name is?
Yeah.
Bob tells Dickerson that Tony saw Violet without her mask, and he doesn't realize, like, how the technology works, I guess, for, like, the memory erasing. And she's like, why has Tony forgotten about me the whole time?
But, like, to me...
And Bob's just like, oh, I don't know. And then he finally he does the math.
But that's just dumb. Like, how dumb are you? Like, you told Dickerson about him, and then the next thing you know, he's blowing your daughter off. What do you think happened? He's kind of dumb. He's a little dumb.
Okay, to be fair to Bob, he is a little dumb, but he was handling a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
And I feel like because he was sort of dealing with Jack developing his powers and, like, all his, like, insecurity that he was harboring for the whole movie, I give him a pass for it.
Yeah, but let's talk about that because we only have a little bit of time left. But I really want to talk about Bob's frail masculinity in this because it was crazy and almost borderline uncomfortable sometimes when Bob would be so unsupportive of Helen and, like, even though he technically said all the right things, they were all through, like, gritted teeth, and they were all him being like, yes, honey, I believe in you. And I just thought that was, like, it got uncomfortable after a certain point because you were like, dude, when are you gonna, like, come around and be supportive of your wife? Because even in the fact that when she left, his whole plot line and his whole character development is that he realizes that he can't take care of the kids as well as his wife can. And he realizes that she's the one who got this crazy awesome job offer.
And she's doing it better than him,
And she's doing it better than him, and that she can save the world less messily than he can. And so he starts realizing that his wife is so much better than him in all of these ways. But he doesn't try to take care of the kids better because he realizes that, like, he loves his wife, and in order for her to succeed, he needs to do his part. He gets his shit together and starts taking care of those kids because he wants to prove to himself that he can be incredible at everything and that he can beat his wife.
Well, and he's very. I think that's
crazy.
He's very competitive.
He's super competitive.
I don't have a problem with Bob's character.
You don't?
No, but
I do. Oh
what does kind of bother me about Bob and Dash is that they look like the Paul brothers.
Oh my god! Shut up.
No, he looks
Why
like.
Why did you? Now I can't unsee
Yeah, I know you
that.
can't. I ruined
now
Incredibles
you
for you.
literally just ruined the Incredibles.
Mr.
For the
Incredible
rest
looks
of my
like
life.
Logan Paul, and
No.
Dash looks like
Stop
Jake Paul.
it! Oh my god! Stop those words out that mouth! No, I hate you. Why? Ruining my life.
Sorry. And then before we get too far away, though, the movie does also end with Tony. Mm-hmm. It's circling back to Tony, and the whole movie is essentially about public perception.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to sort of see Tony be like, "Oh man, superheroes are dangerous," and then also using Tony as a lens, be like, "You know what? Superheroes are kind of cool. I like superheroes." So I thought that was, like, really a clever way to bookend the movie, and I enjoyed that. So let's talk about Screenslaver
real quick, because we gotta wrap this up in a minute. But Screenslaver was, to me, it was like a very cool idea for a villain. Like, I liked the concept that he was, like, hypnotizing people, and of course that it was Evelyn behind the whole thing, and that it was the genius behind the genius thing.
People want to know, did we who did we think Screenslaver was?
Oh, yeah,
during the movie?
The only thing that did kind of get me was, at first, I thought that it might be Winston just because of how cheery he was all the time. And I kind of thought, like, that guy's too happy. Like, I thought maybe he had, like, some sort of a secret. Like, I thought maybe they were in on it together or something. Not
So
that it was just
you
her
knew it was
alone.
the Devers.
Yeah, I knew it was the Devers, but I honestly thought it might have been him because that would have been a crazy plot twist to have this super congenial, awesome guy turn around and be, like, pure evil and you had no idea that it was coming. So I thought that would have been, I guess, kind of cooler. But
You preferred that? I actually really liked Evelyn.
I liked her
and
as a
so
villain,
like
though.
going in, I knew Evelyn was going to be the villain because her name is like when you look at her name, it's literally Evil Endeavor.
Oh my God, David says, don't offend Dash and Bob, please. Yeah, Brett.
I'm sorry.
Don't offend Dash
They're
and
part
Bob.
of Team 10. They dab all the time. Dash would totally dab. Dash is a Paul brother.
I hate
Sorry.
it. Please stop. Please stop.
So like going in, I knew Evelyn was going to be evil because her name is Evil Endeavor. But I did sort of falter during.
Did you really think of that yourself, or did you see it on Reddit?
No, I saw it somewhere. Like, well, it's because I was doing research for. I didn't even know she was a character until I was like doing research for the Incredibles video that you did, and then people were pointing out. And I was like, oh, that's cool, and like it's like fun and campy, like a comic book. So I was like, I'm totally behind it. There was a part where I faltered a little bit, and I think that was when the pizza guy was Screenslaver. And he was giving his monologue, and I think Bob Odenkirk's the guy who plays Winston.
Yeah.
I think his voice was used.
No, actually, she was the voice of the pizza guy too. I looked it up on IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think but they also because I definitely heard Bob Odenkirk's voice.
Oh, really?
So I think they like spliced together.
They like overlapped it. Maybe?
Yeah, overlapped all their voices, and I thought that was like
I
was like,
also-
oh man, is that Winston? Because he was like the same height.
I also seriously wonder, because you know that true crime documentary I was telling you about the pizza bomber? I honestly wondered if that was taken from that true crime that happened, because that happened back in like 2012 or something. So it could have been around the time that this was
That
being
happened in
written.
2012?
Yeah. And then maybe they could have been writing it when that happened or whatever, because it was the pizza guy, and then also the guy behind that crime, the pizza bomber crime, the real one. He was like a master genius, and he had rigged all of these traps and stuff.
Okay, there's
so
parallels there.
I thought that maybe that was like a ripped from the headlines kind of pulling a move right out of Dick Wolf's book.
So that's what I liked about Evelyn, though, is she, like, knowing the whole time that she was the big villain and, like, being cool with that and not, like, playing with, like, all right, who's going to be Screenslaver? I really liked how just, like, nonchalant she was about her evil plans.
Yeah.
She really wasn't, like, oh, man, these heroes are evil. She was playing the long game, and she was committed to, like, not showing her hand at all. And I thought that was, like, I love it when I see, like, a supervillain or, like, a super evil genius that's actually, like, an evil genius.
Yeah.
And not just like I'm an evil genius and I can make a bunch of tech stuff, but they're like their plans are always so like out in the open and like easily seen, which apparently a lot of people felt that way. So it tricked me, or didn't trick me, but like it worked for me.
Okay, so we are out of time right now, but somebody just asked a really good question that I would love to answer on Twitter, which is asking, what did you think of Jack and Edna together? And I will go on Twitter after this if you want to jump on. I'm at Whitney Puppy, and I will totally answer that question if you guys want me to, because I loved the Edna and Jack scene. But that is actually all the time that we have for today.
No, we gotta like let's
really
let's take some
but
questions.
He just said
3 minutes.
Oh, I thought he said
no.
Oh, I thought that was like a 3-second
No,
thing.
no.
Cool. Well, okay, then I'll tell you my Edna Jack thing. So I think that just furthered the Edna is a double agent theory that I have from my other video. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. I made it like last week. And I think that furthered that idea because, yes, she helped the Incredibles by designing Jack a new suit, but I also think that she kept him overnight to study him to see how she could harness his powers for
Do
evil.
you think Edna is going to be the main villain of Incredibles 3?
God, that would be so cool. I hope so. That would be awesome. I would honestly love that.
I don't think Edna's a supervillain, but you can definitely check out Whitney's Edna mode fan theory.
Yeah.
It's a fan theory. I don't think it's reality, but Whitney seems to believe that Edna's a double agent.
I do believe it. I think I'm right.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I don't care.
So yeah, that was The Incredibles. I think it was better than Incredibles 2. I think that it was better than Incredibles 1.
You do? I think Incredibles 1 was stronger, but this one was so much fun, and it was such a good sequel. I, like, genuinely loved it, but I still like the first one a little bit more, I think. Maybe I just have to see this one again.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. Let's
should we wrap it up? Now we're wrapping it up. Sorry, I jumped the gun earlier. Again, I'm Whitney Van Lanningham, the host of NerdWire. This is producer Brett, the producer of NerdWire. You can follow me on all social media, Insta, Snapchat, Twitter, whatevs, at Whitney Puppy. And then you can follow him at, it's BT NerdWire, right? Or is it NerdWire Brett?
Just follow NerdWire HQ. I don't have
fine.
social
NerdWire
media.
HQ,
I don't care about it.
We
do news Monday through Friday, so you can get your nerdy news fix. Probably right after this video, or like a little after. I think our first news video for today is coming
out soon.
So yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, stick around to watch that news vid though.
Hope you guys enjoyed The Incredible. Let us know what you thought of the movie down below.
Yeah, because we'll answer questions if you want us to.
All right,
on
guys.
the Twitters. Bye.